Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Motivation Monday, June 3rd. We're in the month of June. Happy Pride Month. Happy Black Music Month. Happy June, Fashion Dolls. Our very special guest today needs no introduction as he's been a previous guest on my show on several occasions. You guys might know him as Pastor Braxton on the Braxton's First Family. And today he is joining me today so that we can catch up on so many other projects that he's been working on. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me in the dollhouse today, he needs no introduction. And please, I apologize for my tardiness. You guys can see why. So, without further ado, Fashion Dolls, let's welcome our very special guest, Bernard Q. Settles.
Hello, hello, hello. Good
Yes,
afternoon, good evening.
I can see you. Good evening. How are you? I apologize about the tardiness. I had to get everything uploaded to the talk show page and then on here and then the stories.
Let's
But
go.
we're here.
We here now. Here now, absolutely. How you been? How's everything?
Wonderful.
You look
Wonderful. I
glamorous,
can't complain.
shiny nails, blonde hair. Okay, I see you.
Thank
How you
you.
doing your
Yes.
thing?
The nails, you
That's
guys. Yes, I had to
uh,
get something that has a little drama. The last set that I had was very colorful, and I went into the doctor's office, and the lady said, "Your nails look like a roll of lifesavers."
wow.
So I had to change and do something different. But we're here now, Fashion Dolls. So how have you been? Because we had your co-star on, your grandson on the show, Dakari Jones was on here with
Yeah.
us, and we were catching up on the first season of the Braxton's First Family. So what else has happened since then, since our last chat? I think it would have been in this year or 2023.
It was I think it was earlier this year, right?
Yeah.
I had a lot. It's been pretty good. Staying busy, getting ready to get back filming. We start filming the Braxtons, the 8th. So I believe that's next weekend. So the Braxton season 2 filming officially starts next weekend, and we'll get back to it. I had the opportunity to assist with the auditions last weekend, so I got to see some of the talent coming on board. There's some really talented people out there. So I think they're going to add a lot of value to the show. And it's not. I'm looking forward to a really successful season.
And it's going to be a lot of fresh new faces. That's what I was telling Dakari the last time I had him on the show this last month, which would have been May. Yes, May. Last month I had him on the show, and he said there's a lot of fresh new faces. And as far as his character, he was describing everything. Did you caught wind to what he said about you in our
I
interview?
caught a glimpse of it, and I heard some of it from Larry the other day, but I didn't hear the entire conversation. No.
Okay, I'll give you the gist of what he said. He said that when doing a scene with you, he goes into your eyes, and your eyes, you go straight into character. And he was saying you take that character all the way.
Wow.
So he was giving you so much flowers. I said, what is it like working with Bernard? And those are one of the questions that I asked him in our interview. And then he described other castmates on the show. The young lady who portrays Patricia Braxton
Oh,
on the
sorry.
show. Yes, he was talking about her as well too, and he was saying that doing a scene with you gets very intense because of your eyes. He can see. I wish I could pull it up. I wish I could pull it up. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up so you can hear it.
I have to check it out. I appreciate that. And the car is he's a joy to work with. He's a ball of energy always, and his character development, how he's grown, of course personally, but also how his character has grown has been really interesting as well. Seeing him in the season 2, the Secret season 2 premiere, it was huge. He had some really big moments, and he shined through really well. So
Yes, he did.
there are a lot of new faces, and that's something that I do, right? You know, when it's time to get in character, when I hear action, I take a deep breath and I give myself permission to be whoever I need to be at that moment. And Pastor Braxton is anger and rage, so I give myself permission to be rude, to be nasty, all these negative things, all these negative feelings, negative emotions. I bring it all out.
Okay, let me pull this up.
Which is Pastor my character's grandfather. He is, when things get tense, his character gets really cold and his voice gets low, but his eyes stay dark.
You heard that?
Wow.
It's the same thing I basically said about your character, Pastor Braxton or Kenneth. I was teasing you in the DMs and we were messaging back and forth. And I say, yes, Kenneth is ruthless. He doesn't care. So what can we expect for this is the second season. There's going to be a lot of fresh new faces. It's going to pick up where you left off because you had Victoria and Carter hostage. Your son, you came out because they were trying to poison you. And the first part, she had you kidnapped in the storage house, and then you guys turned the tables, and now we see Victoria and Carter tied up. So it left off from there. The season finale, it was 10 episodes. So it's going to pick up from here. What can we expect from Pastor Braxton this season, season 2?
Well, that's an interesting question because there's a lot of things that happen in Secret. So actually, Secrets season 2 picked up right where the Braxtons left off. It picks up right where we left off, and then it branches off into the other storylines for Secrets, where it's going to pick back up for us again on. So by the time the Braxton season 2 comes out, Secret season 2 should be out, and we should be caught up. By the time the Braxtons finally rolls out, it all will kind of flow together. So with that being said, and no spoilers, I don't want to give away what happens in Secret season 2, but I don't really know. I'm not sure where it's going to go for Pastor here. Now, what I do expect, I do have expectations of myself and what I'm going to bring to the character, and that is really just to really kick it up a notch, but more so I'm thinking about psychologically. I want the viewer to feel how uncomfortable my co-star is, how uncomfortable the person I'm talking to is. I really want to draw them into it. I really want to just take every moment and go deep into those conversations, get everybody. I want to reel you in as you're watching it.
And
Pastor
that
Braxton's definitely going to bring it. I'm definitely bringing something new, something fresh this coming season.
now you said psychological. The last time you were here, you was telling us about a film that you were starring in, Killer Baby Daddy. You always take these evil roles, sinister evil roles. Yeah. Now, the film is already out. What are some of the reviews that you've gotten from people who've seen the film so far?
I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from the film. A lot of people do like the film. I've been recognized by a lot of people from the film. I guess because my face is right on the album cover. I mean, on the album cover, my face is right on the cover, which is really cool. But I've been so all the reviews I've been seeing about it have been really positive. People really enjoy it.
And of course, you've got 10 kilos in the trunk. You've got other projects that are going to be coming out as well, too. It is going to be a hot film season, a hot film summer, because there's a lot of films and projects that are going to be coming out. Let's go through the list here. You already completed all 4. You've got Feathers, which we've seen you post the trailer of. You've got A Hustler's Son 2. You've got Inimicus. You've got Love Inside the Drug Game. So out of all your films, which one was the most fun to work on?
The most fun to work on? That's a good question. Where did I have the most fun? I try to have a good time wherever I go, to be honest with you. The Braxtons are always fun because it always feels like a reunion. But I think for my first experience out doing a film, there's one that's not listed called The Facility. That one was really fun. That's the most time I ever spent on a set of a film. I had a pretty small part too, but I filmed it in July, the month of July, maybe 19, 20 days in July on set, one camera. It was the director, he was the cameraman, he was the writer, the producer. A couple of us, we all had to do a little bit of everything. We had to sometimes do sound, sometimes we had to run slate, sometimes we had to help with the lighting, So it was a all hands on deck effort. There was even some nights where we were on set till like 3:30 in the morning, right? But because of how much I really enjoyed the script, how much I loved the story, and that movie is a psychological horror. I think all of us involved were thrilled to be involved in any way we can. And that's actually going to be dropping, should be dropping later this year. I just did some post production work with them last weekend as well, getting ready to get it rolled out. So stay tuned. You'll be hearing about that one really soon. But that one was my favorite, and because it was close to home too.
Now, like I said, again, you portrayed these evil, sinister characters. What takes you there? When you're on set, what makes you get in that mode? And you turn it on and you turn it off, and you're such a nice guy.
Yeah,
That's what the car said, and I told him in the interview.
yeah.
I said he portrayed these evil characters because you never know what we're going to get with you. So for you turn it on and turn it off. What really gets you there on set to go into that character mode?
I release all fear. I'm completely fearless when I decide that I'm going to go into a character, because you have to be. You have to be able to tell the truth to the character. You have to tell that character's truth. And if that character's doing something that I don't agree with, which Pastor Braxton, I don't agree with none of the things he does. But in order to portray him, I have to be able to put myself into that state of mind. I have to, and like I always say, I have to give myself permission to go there. You know, it's not something to do. But also, like you said, because I am a nice guy, I understand being the villain, there's no rules. That's why I always go for the villain role. There's no rules. I can do what I want. All the things that I may want to say when I'm upset, but I can't, you know, because I'm reserved. When I'm on camera, I can just say it and I can just do it. And it's cool, right? Because we're doing the job, we're doing the service, we're telling the story. And I can't accurately tell this story if I'm not being true to the character and true to who it is. I take a deep breath. I close my eyes, and whatever the scene is, I let the scene run through my head. I think about the emotions that I prepare for myself, the emotions I'm going to run through, I'm going to hit certain cues, and I just go. No
Now,
looking
has
back.
go ahead. I'm sorry, I was cutting you
I
off.
was just saying, I just go, no looking back.
It takes a lot mentally. That's what me and Dakari was talking about the last time he was here. I was saying it takes a lot mentally to be able to go to that character and then tune out. You turn it on and then you turn it off. You literally have to detox it out of you, because sometimes when you're going home, you take the character home with you.
Mm-hmm.
Which leads me to my next question. Has family seen Killer Baby Daddy, and what were their reactions to
Oh,
it?
I think it's hilarious. Everyone thinks it's hilarious to see me that way. and all these projects, they find it's funny, right? Because you know it's me. You know, it's not something that's not how I carry myself on a day to day. But they love the film. Everybody's so proud of me too. They're very supportive of me just chasing my dream. See, I recently reconnected with some family and my daughter, and let them know that I was an actor, and we watched Killer Baby Daddy. So that was a good time. So it's been fun. But to your point of having a detox, when I did the Braxton's season 1, I started to feel that a little bit. What it was, honestly, though, it was a stress reliever, because I can go on set and I can just lay into everybody right while we're on camera. And when I got off, usually when I came home, I was fine. You know, everyone at home said I was so much nicer. I was so less a lot lighter, because I had a place to let it go. But there were times where I left and I felt drained, you know, having to give that. And so I think that's the beauty of, you know, an off season with the show too, because you do have that time to kind of decompress a little bit. And I understand too, when I'm not on camera, when I'm not on set, I'm back to myself. You know, there's a place for that. There's a place for Pastor Braxton. Pastor Braxton belongs on the set, not at home. And I keep him there. I keep him right there where he belongs. And he's right there waiting on me every time I show up. But I always use him whenever I have to go on set and I have to portray a character like that, because he was the first character I actually had to portray like that, which is fun. So I kind of take bits and pieces of him with me everywhere I go when I have to be evil, when I have to be sinister. Maybe just different variations.
And another thing, this season, the upcoming season, Secrets Season 2, not only dives into the Braxton family, but it also dives into new characters. There's going to be a lot of new faces. Like PJ, when I seen him on the cast, I'm like, I interviewed him. So it's going to be interesting to see PJ. I've seen him in an array of characters, but to see him in the Braxton's Secret Season 2 is going to be a little bit different. So
He was
I
in
can't.
season 1.
Really? I did.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. He in Secret season 1. He been around.
It's a lot of new blood that's going to be on the Secret Season 2. So it's going to be interesting to see their stories and what they're going to bring, because it's going to be very complex, other than just the Braxton family.
Right.
And David, hey baby, I am ready for the new season of the Braxton's First Family. Yes, yes, I am ready
Yeah,
too because
yeah,
I've
me
watched
too.
all 10 seasons. It's like repeat. I go, it's like my guilty pleasure. And I was telling Dakari that I've watched all 10 episodes, so I know it. More episodes, yes. I can't wait, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are anticipating it because, like I said, it left us with in the warehouse with Victoria, not Victoria, but Patricia
Darnell.
and Carter. Yes. So what else happened? David Dakari, who played your grandson on the show, and his partner on the show as well, too, Antoine, we get to see an exchange between them with the shifting the money over to another account, and then David took the money and shifted it right back. So it's just like, oh, it was so many plot twists. And then David's fiance found out that David was marrying and
Mm-hmm.
was married to
It get real
Antoine.
messy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it get real messy.
And then Antoine's fiance wanted to sleep with David so that she can get into the family. And then come to find out she lied about it.
Yeah.
And then she said, okay, I am pregnant. So it was a lot of plot twists and turns. And then the cabin scene. Patricia shows up at the cabin with Carter.
Yeah.
And then David and Carter get into it. And then Antoine and David and Carter get into it. So it was a whole lot. It was a whole lot.
It's so good, right? Can't get enough of it.
Full of scandal. And what else has happened? Okay, Pastor Braxton returns.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with you and Victoria. You kidnapped Victoria's mom on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the most ruthless, evil thing that anybody could ever do because my mom means a lot to me. I would be in the same position. It's just like, okay, he's got you. He's blackmailing you. He's got your card pulled, girl. So what are you going to do? So she went to that bathroom and she made that phone call. The suspicion for the viewers were like, who did she make a phone call to?
Yeah, the suspense is there for us too because we don't get a chance to read the script. All we get is our part. So when everyone's surprised when they see it, it's a surprise to us too. And the guys do that on purpose. They want everybody to enjoy it the same way. You know, they don't want anybody to know. They don't want everybody to know everything about an episode. All I know about an episode are the scenes that I'm in. That's it. I find out more about how the stories unfold and when the show comes out. There's a lot of times when we're at a premiere and I'll see something and I go, oh, okay, so it ties into what happened in my scene earlier, you know? So it's really cool. It's almost like The Walking Dead, because I think The Walking Dead did that
Oh
too,
yeah.
where they didn't let the cast know what was going on until a lot of times when they got there. So when certain characters was dying, they didn't know until they got the set or until they got their script.
And King David says it definitely keeps you on your toes. That's interesting to know. What else got me was the restaurant scene with David and Antoine and their fiancés, and they went away to go talk, and then the fiancés were talking at the table like, girl, you lied about being pregnant to get into the family, and it's a lot of scandal. And then to come to find out, I didn't even know David had a brother named Justice. His father didn't approve of him being bisexual because, of course, he's church. So we see the scene. It flashes back and it goes back to Patricia and your son arguing in one scene like, I want everything that's due to me. That's basically what she said in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So we see a lot of the backstory, even as to now. And Caleb, who is Patricia's nephew in the scene, who's like the assistant there,
Yeah.
we found out that him and no, yeah,
Him and
David's
Antoine.
fiance had something going on back in the day.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of
Yeah.
revelations that were coming
Yeah.
out. She didn't want them to know that. We see the scene when she grabs the bottle in the kitchen and her and Antoine were going back and forth. And she's just like, I want the name, I want the title, I want everything. And then she goes and she puts something over David's nose, the young lady that you, pew-pewed in that scene. Put something over her nose. She's out. She's in there. She's trying to wipe off all the evidence and everything. So it's a lot of stuff that comes out in season one. There was a lot of scandal. It definitely kept me entertained and wanted more. I'm just like, this is so juicy.
And even more stuff's gonna come out season 2. Some of the characters that are gonna be revealed. There's another sibling that's been referenced that we haven't seen yet. So stay tuned for that person. She will be making her debut in season 2.
Uh-oh. I kind of got a gist. I'm predicting in my head. I think I know who it is. But again, like I was telling Kenyon L. O'Brien, who I just recently did an interview with, I made the comparison between the Braxtons and Triangle. If you guys watch Triangle, Ballroom Throwbacks, they're very similar because the families will do anything. The only difference is with the Braxtons is a church. The Davenport family is about their business, and they will do anything by any means necessary to keep those secrets hidden. It was a lot of revelations that came out in Triangle. If you've been watching since, I've been watching Triangle since season 1, and the same for here, the Braxtons.
I
If you
never
guys
watched.
know,
I never checked it out. What's it on?
Ballroom Throwbacks on YouTube, and
Oh,
it's called Triangle.
okay.
And if you guys love the Braxtons just as much, you will love Triangle as well too, because the Davenport family, they're almost like the mafia. They don't play. That Fallon Davenport and Jabril Kenyon's character, they will go by any means necessary to make sure that there are no loose ends that are left untied. So,
All right.
yes,
Shout out to them. That sounds good.
ballroomthrowbacktv.com. Yes, and I asked Kenyon the same question that I asked you. Is it easy to tap into your evil side? And then you go home and it's just like, yeah, it was a normal day at work for me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely is. It's not. It's not. It's definitely. It really is. When I don't turn it on until I get to set, and even when I'm on set, it's not long until we're lined up and ready to go. And as soon as I hear cut, I'm back to my normal stuff because I don't want to carry that with me as long as I have to. So no, it's not hard at all. And then when I finish, I say bye to everybody. I get in my car and I come home, and I'm ready to
And it's a
play
lot
and
of
do whatever
actors.
anybody wants to do when I get in the house.
Yes, and it's a lot of actors who have that problem with taking on the character. They're carrying the cross of the character, and then they're having to balance out their real life issues as well too. And when they go home, they sometimes bring the character home. They haven't detoxed it out yet. I think it was Kiki Palmer. Kiki Palmer said something to the extent when she played the role of a pimp in a film. She said, "What?" Her mom, or I think her sister, one of the two, was asking her, "Girl, why are you talking like this? You're home now." And it's just like, oh God, I'm still in character mode because you still can't shake it out. You literally have to detox it. That's all you know.
And that's a
Like
great
you've become
into
so.
her work ethic too. When you get really deep into a character, I'm fortunate enough to where I'm still growing as an entertainer, and I'm able to bring a lot of myself to a character. There's not too many. I haven't had too many opportunities where I had to maybe have an accent or to maybe really transform into somebody else. Those actors who are able to bring you a different character, breathe life, to literally be another person when they're on camera. They bring that stuff home because they they do the work, they practice it, and it becomes it becomes routine for them. To where, however she was talking, she put herself in a place where she could do that without even thinking about it. So that way, when they said action, she can give that character upon a moment's notice. That's a true professional. That's a true professional. I really do. She's one of the greats. That's why she makes the big bucks.
Yes.
For sure.
And you're on the same level too. Again, you play these sinister characters and you bring them to life. And we hate you and then we love you one minute and we hate you again and then we love you again. So I mean it's the same
Yeah.
with people. People have to separate the character away from the actual person. Like, no, I'm good, bro. Enjoying this weather fan. Okay, you guys are conversating. Got you. Keep it going. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the combo here. But we're now in the summer months. We're now in the month of June. What else can we expect from Bernard in the future? We know we've got Secrets, season 2. You've got 4 projects that are coming out. When can we see you step behind the
Oh,
lens?
that's
And
so great you asked me that. I'm so happy you asked me that. That is fun. That's so funny you said. So I'm working on a concept film. I have a short film that I'm working on. I'm not going to release any details to it yet, but I'm getting everything together as far as my supplies. But I have an idea for a short film to get myself behind the camera. I've been doing some studying. I've done some. I have a. If you have anybody listening to this is interested in filmmaking, Tomorrow's Filmmakers of America. They have a. They're really good. They have a lot of good resources. They have a full filmmaking package with all of the tools with lessons from directing, cinematography, etc. $97 on their website. I'm not affiliated with them at all. That's just a really good deal. Because I found out through studying that I have a love for cinematography. I love cinematography. I love the way the story is told with the camera. And so I've really been getting deep into studying photography, learning DPs and cinematographers to kind of find my own style because I have an idea of how I want to shoot it. I know exactly what shots I want. I know exactly what frames, but I'm learning how to be a director, how to properly hold the camera. My first film was going to be shot with my iPhone, and there's a lesson about shooting with the iPhone. I've learned different techniques with different camera apps to get the shots that I want, to get the looks that I want. Now it's a matter of learning lighting. And I'm tackling lighting a little bit. I have some lights that I want to order, but also sound. Sound is something I also am working on too. So that's funny you say that. I am interested in getting behind the camera very soon. I may have a directing opportunity this summer. Stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. May have a directing opportunity this summer. I hope so. Knock on wood. Where I get to put the director's hat on and really drive a project. So we'll see. Yes, for sure. For sure. So it's coming. It's coming.
And King David says that's nice. That's good. They do.
Thank
Now
you.
I'm gonna go back for a minute as well too, because you said most film projects are shot on the iPhone. You would think that it's shot like with actual camera equipment and everything. People do such a great job with editing and just timing and production. Again, it goes back to what you were saying, lighting. We're now in a day and age of AI,
Yeah.
and technology is definitely vastly improved. And I had this same conversation not too long ago with Kevin J. Stone. We were talking about how technology in the film world, and not just in the film world, but in music world as well too, has definitely come a long way since back then. So how do you feel about the new era of AI and technology as far as filmmaking
I think
goes?
there's a place for it if we use it responsibly. Because I do like AI art. I love the AI art
Oh,
video
yeah.
and the pictures. I think some of it's really trippy. I think it's beautiful. Some of it's really beautiful too. And I do think there's a place for it if used correctly. I don't think I think I don't think it's ethical to use someone's likeness without their consent or to not compensate somebody for their likeness using AI. I don't think that's ethical. I think that I'm completely against that. I think if you're going to use someone's likeness, I think they should be compensated for it. But I mean, as far as making an original idea, an original concept, maybe doing something because you could use it if you learn how to use it correctly. You may be able to incorporate that to some special effects in a film, if you will, or if I watch this. I follow this on Facebook page, and they do this. They do movies, but 1950s versions of them, and they'll have these AI stills. Some of them are stills, but some of them are like really short clips from these movies. They did like a Star Wars one. They did all these different films from back if they were made back in the 1950s. They have a narrator. That's really cool. I like stuff like that. I do like stuff like that. But yeah, if it's used ethically and in the right format, I have no problem with it. As long as people are being taken care of, as long as people are benefiting from the work that you're producing.
Absolutely. And that's what Janet Hubert, the actress Janet Hubert, is Aunt Viv,
Mhm.
Fresh Prince. She was speaking up about that as well too. You're using people's image without letting them know. Make sure that you are using you give them credit as well to let them know. Ask for permission first, and then if they give you the green light to go ahead and do it that way.
Right.
That's how I would do it. I wouldn't use nobody else's likeness without them knowing.
Right.
But technology is scary because how we're talking now, how our voices are, and you have a very distinct voice as well too. People will know it instantly right off the bat, like that's Bernard. people can instantly take how we're talking now, and they can go ahead and they can use it for whatever it may be, music, whatever. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. You have to be careful with it. You have to use it responsibly.
absolutely. Do we have any questions for myself or Bernard, Fashion Dolls? Welcome if you are just coming in. We are catching up, dishing on all things the Braxtons. Season 2 secrets will be coming pretty soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. It's going to be a lot of plot twists and turns. I just can feel it. I'm getting goosebumps because I know, I especially for Pastor Braxton, and then Dakari kind of hinted that his scene partner and the gentleman who plays Antoine on the show is going to be a different dynamic between them two with him not being there the last interview
Yeah.
that he did. So we can't give the actors can't really give a whole lot away, Fashion Dolls, but you guys have to catch it from the beginning if you have not. The Braxton's First Family is available on Tubi. You can watch all 10 episodes from beginning to end so that you can catch up on the characters, learn their storylines, find out everything about them. Oh, one more thing I wanted to talk about as well too. Carter is a ladies'
Yeah.
man.
Yes, he
Carter
is.
Carter is a ladies' man because the young lady that you had the scene with in the office and you pew-pewed her, uh,
Yeah.
um, her and him were talking. They had a scene where they were on the porch and they were talking. And then your son on the show, he's a ladies' man also too. He's married to Patricia.
Hmm.
But then come to find out that Antoine's mom and him had something going on as well too. So it gets even more deeper. It gets even more complex with each character. There's a backstory.
It's always something. And right when you think you understand something or you think you have a character figured out, it's something completely different. And I want to give a shout out to Larry and Lennar because they live off of that. They live off that feeling, and they get really excited about talking. We're on set. It's so fun because, given the performances, they hype us up. They get really excited. This they do get it from their pops. Thank you. I'm glad somebody said it. but but yeah, they really live for it. And they write, they write some really good plot twists, and it gets people excited, and it keeps you glued to your seat.
Now, another thing that I touched on with Dakari is the banter between uh, Antoine and Patricia on the porch in the cabin when she got that phone call from your ex-wife on the show, Victoria. Now, I don't know what kind of power Victoria has, but to make Patricia team up with Antoine, and Antoine was like, "You want my help?" So it's just like they were playing chess and checkers.
Hmm.
Anytime she said something, he said something right back. It was funny. It was very comical in a way. But also, when he showed that picture of Justice, David's brother, her son on the show, she said, "So how did you get this picture?" So he blackmailed her. And then come to find out she needs his help now. So
Yeah.
whatever Victoria is trying to do, she is trying to stop it. She said this in the scene. She said this in quote. She said, "Do you want to continue having the Braxton's name in this family? Because this woman has the power to stop everything. We got to wait and
We
see."
gotta wait.
Because I want to know more about Victoria too. All I know is she's your ex-wife on the show. You two had a banter. You kidnapped her mom, and
She's
um,
been presumed dead for like the last 10, 20 years or something like that. So she came out and she wasn't dead. She's been running the whole game from behind the scenes this whole time. So we haven't even really seen the full extent of Victoria's power yet.
so it's a sick. We're trying to get the gist of it, where Patricia says, do you really want to know how powerful this woman is, or something?" She was telling Antoine, and Antoine was like, "You need my help." And she's just like, if I never asked you for anything else, I need your help right now." So this woman is that powerful to make Antoine and Patricia team up together and want to work together.
Mhm.
But Antoine has his reservations, like, "You want me to help you." So it's pretty interesting
It's
to
gonna
see
be
what's
good.
going to happen.
It's gonna be really good. It's gonna be good.
And we got a question for you from King David. He wants to know, how would you define good acting, and what is your process for memorizing lines, and how important is the rehearsal process to you?
It was a good. questions. Thank you. Good acting. I think whenever I recognize good acting when I'm drawn into the story. I recognize an actor's performance based on, am I able to feel what they're feeling the moment they open their mouth or before they even open their mouth? Do I, am I watching this movie? Do I feel like I'm watching a conversation, or do I feel like I'm listening, or do I hear two people reading lines to each other? You really get caught in the moment. Get caught those moments where you get caught in the moment with them, and you maybe even get your watch movie. That's good acting to me.
Absolutely. And the type of good acting as well that people love to is when your character is hated on the show.
Yeah.
You know you've done a good job if people cannot stand your character and they walk up to you. And I had the same conversation with another actor, Deshaun D. Will Spivey. And he did a film called Sloppy Seconds. It's also on Tubi. And I said, your character, a lot of women was angry at your character because of how you treated the female lead in the film. And I was one of the women that was angry as well, too. And I told him when he came here on the show, I said, I was so mad at your character. I did not like your character. But he said it came to a point where a woman literally jacked him up at the film premiere. Like, is this what you're doing? So he was like, hey, this is a character I played. I'm not the character. I'm the Sean now. So he explained to them, and they finally got it. Like, people take this serious, and it goes into watching shows that people are fans of, like the Braxtons or Triangle, or it could be the Power Ghost story about 50 Cent stars, whatever. People take this big character seriously to the point where they'll make TikToks about it, and they're literally crying because the character got taken off the show or is no longer. Like, they take this seriously because they really, really watch, and it shows how much acting that the actors do. Like, they're deeply, deeply invested into it, and it goes back to the question that King David asked, which is the acting process. And people have to understand again. Take the difference between being the character on the show and then being, see, look right there in the comments. That pastor is something else. That's what I first told you when you came back this year alone. I said that your character is so evil. How could you kidnap that lady's mama like that? But again, you never know. The writing is so good. The writers and producers of all of these shows, and shout outs to RAKM Productions on the writing and directing on this show, because it is right on time. And it keeps us on the edge of our seats like, ooh, this is juicy. And we see so many twists and turns with the characters, and we want to know what else is next to come. We're literally on the edge of our seats like, what is going to happen next? And then it goes straight to commercial break, and it's just like, oh, I want more. Yes. And Shannon Atkins says, keep up the good work, bro.
Thank you.
David says,
thank you. Keep watching. There's more to come. Hustler's Son 2 is out on Tubi. Feathers is out on Tubi. Killer Baby. If you haven't seen Killer Baby Daddy, check Killer Baby Daddy out. 10 Kilos in the Trunk. Keisha Takes the Block. And we're still working. We're still adding credits. Like I said, we'll start filming the Braxton season 2. That's filming starts June 8th. For that, I have Love Inside the Drug Games. It's going to come out in July. The Facility will be out later this year. It's looking like December or something like that. But I have another. There's another project I'm working on. I can't give too many details about it quite yet, but it is going to be a series. So look out for that.
All right, Fashion Dolls, y'all got to stay tuned. Any more questions for myself or Bernard? I see a lot of new faces are joining. Welcome if you are just joining in. We are here with acting vet Bernard Q. Settles, and we've done so many interviews previously with each other here on this platform, and there's more and more to come. So if you guys have not, you guys need to go and check out Killer Baby Daddy as well too. And you guys are already watching the Braxtons. Please go and check out season 1 so that you can catch up and get to where you're at now, which will be season 2. Secrets. You'll see a lot of new faces that'll be coming on. A lot of new stories, a lot of plots, a lot of twists. The one that I'm itching to know about, you already know, which is Victoria and her backstory. And why was Patricia so afraid of her? Like, wow, someone that powerful that because we
Trisha's.
would have we would
Mm-hmm.
have thought that Patricia was the most powerful woman. She's the head of the church. She's the first lady of the church. But Victoria has something, and that makes me think: what does Victoria have on Patricia? That she is so afraid that she wants to team up with Antoine to take her down. So we have to stay tuned and find that out.
Absolutely. Stay tuned.
Let me see if I missed any questions. Your response will say, okay, I think we caught up on everything. Do we have anything else? Fashion dolls, anything else you guys want to know? Just hearing her name, she was scared. Yes, she picked up that phone and she talked to Antoine. She was trying to stop Antoine from talking because he was just on her the whole time. And he had that picture of her son Justice. She was like, Justice, how did you get this picture? How did you get it? But she was terrified. She was petrified. Like, what is it that Victoria has? You guys have to stay tuned and find out. Again, it's always something on one of the characters. Your characters that you love to hate, even they have something that they don't want to be revealed. There's a skeleton in their closet. There's a backstory that they don't want people to know. And they will do anything by any means to keep that hidden. And I make a comparison between Fallon Davenport and Patricia Braxton because they're both women who thrive off of power, the characters on the show. They thrive off of power, and it's their way or no way. And they will do anything by any means to protect their family name, their family legacy. So, very parallel, Christina Davenport and the young lady who portrays Patricia Braxton on the show as well. These women have to be in power. So, it's very interesting. You guys have to watch and see what I'm saying. The parallel with Triangle on Ballroom Throwbacks, and then you have the Braxtons, First Family, Ari Camp Productions. If you guys watch, you'll see, yes, strong ladies. These women have to be in power. I think Cookie Lyons will be a prime example comparison to both of these women. They mirror her because they love power, and they will do anything. What was Cookie known for? She was known for her protecting her sons, the legacy, coming back for the record company. And what did Patricia say in that scene with your son on the show? She said, I want everything that's right for me. I want everything for me and my sons. When she had the exchange with your son on the show about your grandson being bisexual, he was not doing it. He was not here for it at all. So it's going to be interesting to see the dynamic with Patricia and Victoria on this up and coming season. I'm pretty excited to see that. But yes, I know, right? It was a good comparison because I watched these shows deeply with mafia-like families. You don't really see that. I mean, if I could take it all the way back to Dynasty, Diane Carroll, the Dominique Devereaux. You wanted to know more about her. She was this villainess. Diane Carroll said this. She says, I love taking a role where I'm a little bit outside of being the nice girl. I want to be a little bit of a bad girl in this role. And she did just that. When she came in that hotel, speak of the devil, Kenyon, Jabril Davenport, ladies and gentlemen. He is here. When I was talking about Triangle, making a comparison, I asked Kenyon the same question. You guys can also catch Kenyon in season 6 of Talks with Myself. His character is a lot like Pastor Braxton because these two are also men who love to be and who love to have power. They will always have that one up. They'll always be one step ahead of you. And if you were to watch Triangle on Ballroom Throwbacks and then watch the Braxton's First Family, you will see the same comparison that I'm making. And that is great acting to the point where people literally hate your character, or they're walking up to you and saying, oh no, we don't like what you did to such and such on the show, or we don't like what you did, or we mad. Even watching that at the premiere, people feel some type of way about it. That knows that you did your job. And I asked Kenyon, he's here now. I asked him the same question. Was it hard for you to tap into that evil side? He's just like, no. I turn it on and I turn it off. The same for you. So that's what makes amazing acting. And I make the parallel because these are characters who love power. They thrive off of power, and they will do anything to protect their family's name, legacy. The Davenport family, let's get into some of their scandals. Uh, Fallon finds out that she has a daughter and she has a son, Julian, and then Raven, and they both want a part of the pie as well too. So come to sleep with Raven was sleeping with the brother, Jabril Jr., Jabril's brother. So we see a lot of plot twist on that show as well too. Then come to find out Mason is a Davenport as well too. Uh, it's so
It's a
much
lot going
scandal. It
on.
comes out. And then I think Jabril hid the blood test results to find out if he's related, if Mason is related to the Braxton family. Not Braxton, Davenport family. I'm sorry. I'm getting them
Yeah,
so mixed up because they're so similar. Yes, Fallon boyfriend was sleeping around. Her assistant was sleeping with her enemy. So it's a lot that came out.
wow.
And then to find out Kenyon had to play two characters. He had to play himself again on the show, but he was playing somebody
Oh,
else.
wow.
And not really, but he was himself, of course. But it was sort of like, okay, how, one of the characters named Chadwick went away and came back with Kenyon's face. It was another gentleman that played the character of Chadwick. And then Kenyon played Chadwick. And so he wasn't really sleeping with Jabril. He was sleeping with Chadwick, Brandon on the show. So, I mean, you got evil step twins. I said, Kenyon, how was it you having to play two characters on the show? So he fooled us. He gave us an Eddie Murphy moment where he was playing himself again and then himself.
That's
But it was him. It was Kenyon. So it was a lot. But the craziness of it all, exactly, King David. You get to see it on these shows. So I think I've done my work here. I've done the reviews. I've watched both of them.
I appreciate it.
So
Definitely for season 2. I think it's going to be a lot more fun. So I'll tell you, I've been watching the Sopranos. I never watched Sopranos before, and I've been picking up a lot of techniques from James Gandolfini, who played
may he
Tony.
rest.
For sure, rest in peace, and really brilliant actor. There's a lot of stuff I'm picking up from him that I think I want to bring to Pastor Braxton. So you'll see. You'll see. Just wait and see. Stay tuned.
You talk about mafia families. I'm so glad you brought that show up. That was one of my father's favorite shows. If not that show, The Wire. The Wire's a good one too because, again, they are all about hiding that scandal. 100%. 100%. Any more questions, Fashion Dolls? For myself or Bernard, I'm having such a good time here. And you guys, make sure that you are staying tuned for the Braxtons Secrets Season 2, which is coming soon. I cannot wait for it. I'm highly anticipating to see where we pick off. Again, you guys go and check out and I've interviewed Julito from The Wire. I've interviewed a few of the stars from The Wire here on my platform. And I told Julito I was so nervous. I was so nervous. But he was just like, why are you nervous? And he came in with his New York, the same energy, but it was outside of the character. He wasn't his character. He came in with just such vibrancy. And we had such fun going back in time, talking about The Wire. And that was a great interview. If you guys have not seen that one, that is definitely one for the books to check out. We talked about this next generation of mafia-like shows. We've got Power Ghosts, which I know a lot of you watch, and you're wanting to know more. Now, I'll tell you what, I've seen the clips, and the only reason I watch because one of my favorite singers is on there, and you guys know I'm a big Mary J. Blige fan. My Life is the soundtrack to my life. So I watch because of her. To see her channel this character, Charnay, on the show is a little bit out of her element than the other characters that she's portrayed. But when you see her and she does interviews, she's so humble, she's so down to earth. So again, separate the character away from the artist. they don't take that job home with them. It's just a job at the end of the day. But again, the viewers, we get so caught up in our feelings. Like, it's so funny because you guys take the TikTok and you guys are crying because a character got taken off the show or is no longer. And then it's like, why did you have to go in the room? It's so hilarious the way y'all do it. But hi, Adam. You gonna watch it? Yes. And Adam is actually going to be coming on the show pretty soon, so you guys stay tuned for that interview as well. Also, so do we have any more questions for myself or Bernard, Fashion Dolls? It was so great catching up with you. I think this is what, number 5. We've done so many already.
Yeah. We keep on rolling them out, and I appreciate you taking the time to check in. And keeping my audience informed, keeping everybody informed, and connecting me with new people. And I thank everybody in the chat. Thank everybody that participated to watch watch anything I was in. If you get a chance, click the link in my bio. I have all of my links to my films and my link in the link, and give me a follow.
Absolutely, Fashion Dolls. Do we have any questions, any final remarks before we wrap up? This was such a great time. I had such a great time
I
today
did.
catching up with you.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Going once, going twice, Fashion Dolls. Before I get to the final thought of the day, you guys know that I always have to send you on with some encouraging words to start the week off right. We are now in the month of June. It seems like the months are going by so fast. And it is also, you're welcome, definitely going to check it out.
Thank you.
It seems like the months have went by so fast. And time has flew by. As I said in the beginning of the show, it is Black Music Month, and I would like to wish a very special happy heavenly birthday to 2 amazing women, Annie, and then we've got Josephine Baker. Josephine Baker has broken barriers for women of color in the business. If it was not for her, we would not have a Beyonce, we would not have a Janet Jackson. I mean, she's danced, she's acted, she's performed. And not only that, but she's also fought behind the scenes as it pertains to racism, which is something that we are still fighting today in the United States. And if it wasn't for Josephine Baker, you would not have a personality like myself, which I'm getting up there. I'm starting to see what people are saying. As you get up there, your name starts to get up there. People start to recognize you. You develop a name for yourself. But if it wasn't for her, you would not have a Black woman like myself here doing this platform with you guys. I would not be here if it wasn't for her. And she's paved the way and opened the door for so many women and just people of color in general in the business. So happy birthday, Josephine Baker. Your work is not definitely in vain. You have left a legacy. You have left an impact on so many actors, so many actresses. And not only her, but Dorothy Dandridge. And I remember when I did my interview with Chappelle Nicole, she talked about how Dorothy Dandridge, it was sad because her story, you know, was told perfectly. Halle Berry did an amazing job. But people want to know more about Dorothy Dandridge. They want to know more about Josephine Baker. And I can tell you the parallel between these 2 Black women is that they both fought what we're still fighting today, and that is racism, as well as Annie as well too. She walked alongside Martin Luther King Jr. And if you want to know more about her story, you guys know. Check out my stories. It's a reason, it's a method to my madness why I posted that song, Mama Said Knock You Out, LL Cool J. So if you know about Annie Lee Cooper, yeah, baby, you might want to go and check out my stories to know more about Annie. But she is another one who didn't take any mess, didn't pull any bits. She was all about fighting for equality for Black people. So salute to these 2 amazing queens here who fought so that we could continue to have equal rights in the entertainment business, equal rights as Black people as a whole. So salute to them. All right, Fashion Dolls. It is now time for the final thought of the day. We are going to wrap up. But before I wrap up, Bernard, what are some gems that you would like to leave to your fans, to your supporters? Because you have so much love, and you know I love you, and I love your work, and I'm a fan of your work. So what are some gems that you would like to leave to people going into the new month, starting off the new year? Because we're now in the month of June.
Yeah, thank you. Remember to be gentle with yourself. Take things one day at a time. Love yourself first, and Love yourself first.
Absolutely. And to tie on to that, today's final thought comes from Diane McLaurin. She says this: nature has given us all the pieces required to achieve exceptional wellness and health. But has left it up to us to put the pieces together. And what that means is it when I went outside and I took a walk over the weekend, because I'm always pent up in the house. Mom says, girl, you need to get out the house. You need to do something. Come with me for a little bit, because I'm always in a space where I like to create. I like to invent. I like to set up interviews. I'm always thinking of how I can reinvent myself, because I always reinvent myself every season that I've done this platform. I've been doing this since, I can't believe it, since I graduated out of high school, 2014, y'all. And now to see it at 30 years old, I looked back over the weekend at some of my past things, and I'm just like, ooh, your delivery could have been a little bit different. And once you go back and you watch yourself and look at older pictures, you reminisce and you think about where you were at that point in your life. And I know at some parts of my life, looking back through in the past, I see myself in a state of sadness. I see pain, and I would try to mask it with happiness. But I can say now, at 30 years old, I'm gonna try not to get emotional.
Take your time.
This has been the most happiest year for me that I've ever been in my entire life. And my sister, rest her soul, she was scared of turning 30. I know she's looking down over me. She was scared of turning 30. She literally cried, y'all, because with women, we like to stay young forever. Ladies, I hate to break it to you, but it's impossible. It's impossible. We can't stay young forever, but we can look youthful. And I'll give you an example. Angela Bassett ages backwards.
Yes, she
And I've
does.
seen this woman in a bunch of interviews. I mean, she just did Stephen Colbert, and I'm just like, how does she stay looking so amazing? I mean, body is on point. We've seen her in a swimsuit. Like, face card never declines. It's like she ages backwards. Vanessa Williams, who I've had the pleasure with of interviewing, the same for her. How do these women, it's like we found the fountain of youth. And that ties into nature as well, too. When you surround yourself with love, it shows all over. It shows all over. And that's why I'm all glowy today, because I'm surrounded by love. I am protected by peace. And every morning I get up, I say a prayer, and I do an affirmation as well, too. So the key thing in this quote and final thought of the day is nature. You have to find nature to get back in tune with who you are. And there are some points in my life where I was lost. I did not know who I was. I was always so busy trying to fit in. Like everybody, there are a few people who do the same thing that I do. Other content creators who host their platforms. And I give you an example. Shout outs to Bubs the God, who's been a major support system. Shout outs to Bubs. My brother K-Tubes, who always comes through and shows me so much love. Tony Holly is another one. Kenneth Stallings. They're like my brothers, Alan Yankee. These guys come in, and as a woman in this business, I feel protected, because it's very likely that you find people who are like family to you. And these gentlemen that I've named are like family to me. They're very protective over me. And I don't even have to lift a finger, because the old Miss Stevie, King David knows, the old Miss Stevie would be ready to fight, be ready to curse somebody out. I take the earrings off, all of that. I had to basically go back and just change a lot in my life, put a lot into perspective. Nature has helped me do that. So I got out the house and I just took a walk, and I was editing my clip to put up after my interview. And I went and I took a walk in my backyard, and I'm just like, wow, God has been so good to me to be able to see 30 years of life, to see this, to have vision, to have life, to be able to be a vessel. And my brother Sky, he told me this. He said, sister, he said exactly like this. He says, sister, you are a beacon of light to people. And if I can be happiness to people in such dark times, because I know with everything that's going on right now, people need something to make them happy, to bring them joy. And I want to continue to keep being a vessel to pump happiness into each and every one of you guys. And I know I can't save the world. If I had the power, I would. But I can do it in a way where I'm bringing happiness to each and every one of you. So that's my nature. And I see what Diane said in this quote, which is nature has given us the pieces required to achieve exceptional wellness and health. That means getting outside, staying grounded. A lot of people like to walk barefoot in the grass. Not this girl. Not this girl right here. Yes, I was raised in South Carolina, but this Southern Belle will not be walking in no grass barefoot. There's too many bugs, and I hate bugs. I hate frogs. I hate snakes. I almost I called my aunt because I couldn't get in touch with my uncle to kill the snake that was in front of the mailbox. Y'all have heard that story. So 3 women, my aunt, me, and then my mom. What we gonna do? How we gonna try to kill a snake that's already dead that flew in the yard out of nowhere? So we need my uncle. Where's my uncle? Anything that crawls or slithers, I'm a South Carolina girl. I don't do it. I'm letting you know right now. I'm afraid of snakes. I'm afraid of frogs, bugs, anything that crawls. I can't do it. But staying grounded and centered, it can be that some people choose to walk barefoot in the grass. Some people choose to just sit out in the park on a park bench and just look out there. It can be just a clear field of nothing but nature, trees and grass. Stay centered. Stay in tune with who you are. And those are the best tips, especially in this June. It's summer. It's hot. I know a lot of you are going to be taking vacations. There's going to be a lot of scenery. Making sure that you stay centered with yourself. And that is very, very important. But yes, that is the final thought of the day, Fashion Dolls. See, we talk about this. Yep, nap time. You know it all the time. And it's important to protect your mental health. May was Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, all of the tools that we've been talking about here on my platform, I hope you guys have taken along with you to help this June. June is going to be fun. It's summertime. So a lot of people are going to be taking vacations, spending time with their families, and so much more. And I'm going to wrap it up on that note because it was very long-winded. But again, stay centered and focus on nature. Embrace what God has given you. If you are afraid of bugs and snakes like me, I would suggest you make sure you look out, wear your glasses, because the mistake I made of going to that mailbox that day and seeing that snake was not having my glasses on. So as you get older in your 30s, things start to change. And I've noticed that. So my mom said, "Did you forget your glasses?" I was like, "Yes." So yes, pay attention, be aware, and surround yourself with people who make you feel good. Because as you can see, love is all over me, and it's making me glow, and it's making me happy. Not just the glamour, the makeup and stuff, but I'm surrounded by love. And that's how I stay so centered and just unbothered about things, unfazed. So take that. On that note, Bernard, always a great time
Thank
catching
you.
with
Thank
you.
you so much for having me. I
Thank you.
appreciate it every time. Thank you.
Yes. Where can everyone follow you and check out these films you have out?
Follow me on my Instagram at Bernard Q Settles, my Facebook, Bernard Q Settles. You can find me on IMDb. IMDb will have all of my previous projects and some upcoming projects that I'm currently working on. TikTok, Bernard Q Settles. Everywhere, pretty much everywhere is Bernard Q Settles. And you can catch me on Tubi. I'm on Tubi. I'm Tubi pretty heavy too. Most of my projects on Tubi. Hit the link in my bio. Check out all my links to all my projects.
All right, Fashion Dolls, there we have it. Ladies and gentlemen, Bernard Q. Settles. Make sure you guys please go again and check out Braxton's First Family on Tubi. Check out Killer Baby Daddy. Check out 10 Kilos in the Trunk. Check out all of Bernard's projects. You won't be disappointed. And again, check out Ballroom Throwbacks as well too, and Talks with myself, Kenyon L. O'Brien. We've had a few actors pop in this interview, a few famous faces. So thank you guys so much for your love and support. Now joining me tomorrow, we have singer-songwriter Devon Howard. He is going to be joining me. And I want you guys, again, stay grounded with nature, stay centered, surround yourself with people who uplift you. It is now June. It is Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to my brothers and sisters in the community. And also, happy Black Music Month. So all month long, make sure that you guys are checking out and supporting Black arts, Black artists, Black films, Black everything. I love you all, and we will see you tomorrow at 4 Fashion Dolls on Style by Stevie. Take care.